Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is scheduled for one fall. Dude, I'm not reading the rest of this. You don't even pay me. Just click your button, start the show.
Hello, people. Welcome to the Gimmick Table. I'm your host, Matthew. I'm joined today by Bats. Today's show is brought to you by Gamefly.com. Sign up for a premium 30-day, one-game-out trials here at the Gimmick Table. All you got to do is go to www.gameflyoffer.com/TGT, or you can go right over to our website, gimmicktablepod.com, and sign up there as well. Thank you for making the 5-hour journey to join us today.
Oh, not a problem.
How you doing? How was your drive?
Long. A lot of bad drivers on the road.
A lot of bad drivers. Well, I'm glad you made it for the show, and I don't have to do this solo. Real quick, before we get into today's guest, we want to just say hello to our good friend Tectonic out there. Some really good positive feedback saying that since he's been on the show, he's seen a lot more, responses from people, and it's really helped to improve his reach. So we're glad we could help you, sir. And today, our guest is from Norfolk, Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Gimmick Table, Benjamin Banks. How you doing today, Benjamin?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing today?
We're doing good.
I'm doing great. I'm so glad we could have you the show. We've been looking forward to this all week. It's our favorite part of the week, probably getting to sit down with you guys and just pick your brains and see how much we can find out about you. See if we can ask you some difficult questions.
Drove all the way up here from the beach just to get to this interview.
You're looking a little tan today.
I am really tan.
You are tan.
I tried to even it out. I'm burnt in some spots, but that'll even out.
How we like to start off every episode is we want to know really what first introduced you to professional wrestling.
I probably had to say, growing up, it was probably like the early 90s, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, that type of stuff. My older cousins, putting me in wrestling moves and beating me up and slamming me and stuff like that. And that's pretty much how I got into it and, found out about it and everything. Hogan was like the Michael Jordan of wrestling. So it was like, everybody knew who Hulk Hogan was. It was like, I had the Hulk Hogan pajamas, T-shirts, bandanas, anything Hulk Hogan, I had it.
Yeah, one of my earliest childhood memories was that I had the Hulk Hogan bandana, and we went to the arena to see one of the WWE events back then, better known as the WWF. Hulk Hogan pointed at me while I'm waving my frickin' Hulk Hogan bandana, and I'm like 7 years old, and I was ready to poop my pants with excitement. I'm like, oh my God, Hulk Hogan pointed at me.
Did you make sure that when you went home that you ate your vitamins and said your prayers that night?
I did for about a week. And then I became an Ultimate Warrior fan. So when did wrestling go from fandom to, hey, I want to make a career out of this?
I was a freshman in high school, and once you make it to the 9th grade, it's like pretty much you're like, all right, so I want to either be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a teacher. It's like you set goals for what you want to do once you graduate high school. And one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to be a professional wrestler. So back when I was in high school, I had came up with the persona D-Money. Well, actually, D-Money goes back further than that. But growing up, I had the D-Money persona. That was my wrestling name. And, when I was in high school, I was like, I want to be a professional wrestler, and my wrestling name is going to be D-Money. I graduated high school, and a couple of years had went by and was finally ready to, pursue my dream of becoming a professional wrestler. And, I started training at Southside Pro Wrestling, and, I became D-Money. I was David D-Money Nichols back then.
So how did you end up at Southside School of Wrestling?
One of my friends had told me about it. He had always told me about it, said that there was a school out Virginia Beach. And, they had a TV show back in the day as well. It came on Cox Channel 11. And, I saw a couple of episodes of it, and I was just like, man, I want to go out there. But, it's like at the time, I didn't have good transportation. So, that kind of held me up. But, once I had got me a better job and, I had me a nice new whip, I could start, going out there to train. I had actually I had went to one of their shows. It was I believe it was Uprising 2. Yeah, Uprising 2 was the show, and Uprising was their big show. It was their Super Bowl of professional wrestling, and Rikishi was actually at that show as well. Rikishi was one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, so it was cool getting to meet him. and there was this wrestler there named Brandon Scott. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen Brandon or if you know him, but he's done a couple of things with WWE. Like he was just on 205, I want to say a few months ago, and where he wrestled Mustafa Ali. So that's pretty cool, you know. So he well, this was 2012. He introduced me to Dustman Mark Anthony, who ran the Southside School and everything. And you know, he was just telling me, he was like, you know, if this is something that you want to do, then you need to do it. And you know, introduced me to Mark Anthony, and you know, the rest was history.
Well, good for you, man. Definitely good that you followed your dreams. That seems to be a concurrent theme that we're really seeing, is that our last guest was actually good friends with Bats in high school, George Gatton, and Bats vouched for him. He never shut up in high school about, hey, I'm going to be a professional wrestler. Were you like that? Were you, you know, telling everybody walking around, I'm going to be a professional wrestler?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But you made it happen.
Yeah. Everybody in high school knew me as D Money. Knew me because I told everybody I was going to be a professional wrestler. You know, during gym class back in the day, I used to put the other students like in wrestling holds like that. You know, like the angle. I used to spear some of the students in gym class. I used to pick up some of the students for the F5, but I never actually hit it on them because I didn't want to get suspended.
Yeah, that might get you in a little bit of trouble there, you know, knocking someone out for a little bit.
I mean, no, I never got in trouble. It was worth it, you know, but I never got in trouble for any of the stuff. You know, as long as you don't do it in front of any teachers, you're fine.
Right?
That's a good way to go at it, you know? What they can't see, you can't get in trouble for.
Exactly. What they don't know won't hurt them.
Right? Back then, schools didn't have cameras all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you could get away with a lot of stuff back in the day.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, to be a 90s kid. You new generation, you're so unlucky. They don't have it as good as we did, or you know.
That's kind of true. I mean,
Well, I mean, I guess it's a lot safer. Shoot,
Yeah.
I remember there were some guys from another school that had snuck into my school and they had jumped somebody. So, you know, I mean, I guess it's good that you know, they have all this high tech stuff now.
yeah, there's the trade off there. Like they get to be safer. They just don't have any privacy.
Yeah, they don't have any fun.
All right, so you're at Southside School of Wrestling. You got Mark Anthony. Who were your other trainers?
Sterling Williams. When I started at the school, Sterling was training, and then I want to say like he was training there for like a few months, and then after that, a guy named Marty Reed, he took over the classes.
Okay, so you had a couple different trainers there. So kind of tell us how the three of those guys, you know, helped prepare you in different ways.
Well, pretty much Mark, I mean, like he pretty much showed me the basics of everything. And then, you know, Sterling was more about the drills. It was like snap, 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 snap. Put everything in our brains on like, you know, what we have to go through and, you know, wrestling matches and whatnot. And then like when Marty came, like Marty, he had been in the business for a very long time. I want to say Marty had been in the business somewhere between 12 to 15 years at this point. And like pretty much it was like he was just always dropping knowledge on us when we were at the school. You know, all three of them, it's like they played a big part in, you know, helping me get to where I needed to get to. But it's like in the world of professional wrestling, it's like you have people that train you, and then it's like, you know, after you get your training and everything, it's like you want to continue to get better and you want to continue to grow. So it's like, you know, you start to latch on to, you know, guys that have been in the business for a long time, and that's what I eventually did. I latched on with somebody. His name was Jack. Wrestling name. He wrestled at 66, and pretty much it was like he took me under his wing, and you know, he helped me pretty much become, you know, Benjamin Banks, like the man that's doing everything today. Like if it wasn't for Jack, it's like I wouldn't be doing half the stuff that I'm doing today. He really helped me out compared to you know, where I was at when I first started in the business.
Well, it seems just from talking to you and the other guests that it's constant growth, really. You could never be satisfied with what you learned. You always have to kind of be but trying to get better and not become complacent, not become stale in a way, and kind of keep yourself fresh. So it's good that you had that, though. The people I find that it's got to be better to have more people around you because it's more years of experience.
Yes.
You started training in 2012. How long do we go from that first day in training to you debuting in a the squared circle?
It was like June of 2012, and I made my debut. I want to say it was October that same year. I had made my debut. I wrestled a guy named Tremor. For my first match, it was pretty nervous. I was nervous. It was nerve-wracking. I thought that it was gonna be better. It was like a 5-star match in my mind, but when I actually did it, it sucked. It wasn't that good of a match.
Yeah, but you had that adrenaline pumping and everything. You were probably like going out of your mind to do this match.
Yeah. I had my friends, my family there and everything. So it's like, I was pumped. I was happy. I was happy. Like the stuff that I had pretty much learned from, practicing from the time that I had started, I pretty much did the same stuff in my first match. And, it was pretty cool. It was cool doing the stuff that I had practiced. But it's like I said, at the same time, the match wasn't all that good. Looking back at my first match, compared to now, like it's leaps and bounds. I'm leaping and bounds better than what I was when I first started in the business.
I have to imagine that, even though I'm sure nobody in the history of professional wrestling has ever gone out there and debuted with a 5-star match, but it has to be such just a large hurdle to overcome itself, just because it's going from putting everything that you've learned together and actually performing it in front of an audience and just hoping that you don't kill yourself or your opponent that first time out there.
Yeah, you're right, man. It's like, in my first match, it's like I said, I was nervous. The people were calling me Viscera. I was called Viscera. I was called Mark Henry. I was called Abdullah the Butcher. I was called that was it. Yeah, I was called those guys the whole time. And it was like I was nervous. I didn't really talk any trash. I didn't do anything, And that was one of my things. I'm a good, like when it comes to trash talking, like I'm a beast. But, of course, when you first start, it's like that nervousness, it affects you really bad. Like, it's a ton of stuff that's on your mind that, that you want to say, but it's like you don't say it.
Well, especially the first time out there. I mean, the more you put yourself out there, the more it's got almost not a sense of insecurity in a way, because you're going to be putting yourself out there. You don't really know the first time around how people are going to react to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they going to like it, or are they going to think, oh my God, what the hell is this? What is this guy saying? So definitely, but to do it.
Yeah, you're right.
To do it, it takes somebody who's, I've said it before, a big set of balls to fucking step in that ring and fucking do what you do.
Yeah.
How much notice did you have for that match?
I want to say I had a couple of weeks. Weeks notice, so I was amped, but I was still nervous. I still had the butterflies. Like, even though where I am right now in the business, it's like I still get nervous before every match. I was always told that if you're never nervous before a match, then there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you have a match, it's like you never know what's going to happen once you go through that curtain.
Exactly. Like with anything, like when you're going out in front of a crowd, you never know how the crowd is going to react.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Gimmick Table, so it's kind of probably important for us at this time to ask. You've been going now for 5 years. Who is Benjamin Banks?
Benjamin Banks, he's the man who makes it rain. He has all the money in the world. People fear him. He has the baddest dance move in all the land, the money shuffle, which is, it's my thing. It's Benjamin Banks. Like, everybody wants to do the money shuffle. What's the saying? It's often imitated but never duplicated.
How do you do the money shuffle?
Well, it's like, pretty much it's like, I can give you the basis of it. You guys know who Teddy Long is, right?
Yes.
All right, so Teddy Long, he does this dance, right? Where
okay.
It's like he uses his hands, he goes to the left, he goes to the right? So all I did was I innovated his dance, and I made it into my own, and I changed a couple of things, and pretty much it's the same dance. So thank you, Teddy Long, for setting the foundation for the money shuffle.
Now, also in my research, and one thing that I found pretty cool about how you came up with your name was the fact that you use, for your first name, a little homage to, Benjamin Franklin, and the last name is homage to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the Banks family.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is one of my favorite TV shows.
I grew up on that show too.
I love the Fresh Prince. I mean, we could wrap the opening right now, but we won't do that to everybody who's listening.
Yeah, I was about to start doing it, but I don't know all of the words by heart.
I mean, between the two of us, we could probably do it.
Y'all want to do it?
You guys can. I'll just sit here.
Is that not like the original intro, just the normal one, right?
Yeah, not the long one.
Yeah.
I've heard the original one. It's like there's too much into it.
Yeah,
I always forget.
It's from like the pilot episode.
Will you guys do the Wayans brothers after that too?
I don't know the Wayans. Just
Oh yeah, I know the way. What is it?
Yeah, I do.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Do. Give me a high five. Yeah, then they beat up the cameraman. Yeah, but the Fresh Prince is this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. I like to take a minute and sit right there. And I'm gonna explain to you how I became the prince of a town called Bel-Air. Do. And then they show the cop, he comes.
It's like in West Philadelphia, born and raised. On the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all, shooting some b-ball outside of school when a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. Oh, yeah.
Got one little fight and my mom got scared and said, you're moving with your auntie and uncle to Bel-Air. I whistled for a cab and Manny came near. The license plate said fresh and there was dice in the mirror.
If anything, I can say that this cab was rare, but I thought, man, forget it, yo home to Bel-Air.
Home to Bel-Air. I pulled up
to the house about 7 or 8, and I yelled to the cabbie, yo home, smell you later. Looked at my kingdom, I was finally there to sit on my throne as the Prince of Bel-Air.
As the Prince of Bel-Air. And then you gotta make sure that you roll your head around this like he did when he knocked on the door. You gotta do that too. Yep. I just knocked on some wood right now.
He's doing that right now. We went down a road there. So
we just took a subplot.
It's okay. It's okay.
Side quest.
It keeps things interesting, keeps things fresh. People want to hear, more than just same old silly questions. But what are some of your favorite signature moves?
I have the money shuffle, elbow drop, which is, I do the money shuffle, and then I do this sweet elbow drop, this big elbow drop. I do the money shuffle splash, which is, do the money shuffle and then do this big splash. I love doing the fall away slam because I always throw my opponents all the way to the other side of the ring. I do a pretty mean clothesline where I clothesline the hell out of my opponents. I really love doing that. A quick story on the clothesline thing. One of my friends, Mad Max Morrison, when he started training, I had already graduated from Southside Pro Wrestling at the time, and I used to come up there just to clothesline all of the new students because I clothesline the shit out of people. And I had clothesline Max, and he always says, man, he's like, man, you clothesline the hell out of me, man. It's like I had never been hit so hard in my life. You know what I'm saying? So I love doing the clothesline. I do the Vader bomb. That's one of my favorites. Tribute to Vader. And I also do the World's Strongest Slam. Tribute to Mark Henry.
So you're a heel, which makes me happy because heels are my favorite. What made you choose to go to the dark side?
Because, man, being a bad guy, I like to do bad things. Being a heel, it's like you can say whatever you want to the people that's sitting in the audience, man. It's like you can talk about their mamas, their daddies, how poor they are, how ugly they are, how I'm going to take your girlfriend back to the hotel with me. Stuff like that. It's fun. It's fun talking crap to people, man. And I want to say it was a few shows back that I had wrestled at. I had jumped at this kid in the audience and he fell down on the floor. So that was cool.
One of the best things I actually ever saw at one of our local promotions, Southside Wrestling, was one of the guys in the front row was talking a lot of crap to the wrestlers, till finally one of them, I don't remember who it was, did a fake super kick. He stopped the kick right before he was going to put his leg, fully extend his leg out. And that kid jumped back half a mile and the whole crowd is just laughing at him. I was like, that's what you get. But what is the worst thing that you've ever probably said to somebody in the crowd? If it's, not too offensive, but we don't care.
The worst thing that I've ever said to somebody sitting in the crowd. Shoot, man, I've said a lot of stuff.
All right, what's your go-to what you're gonna say to somebody to really try and get them mad at you?
Oh, well, like if some dude's there with his girlfriend, I just hit on his girlfriend the whole time.
That's classic. That'll work all the time.
Like, okay, I got a good one for you. It was Valentine's Day, right? I had went to a hotel, and I had got the hotel room keys, and my manager at the time, Jack 66, who I was telling you about, who helped me. This promotion, it was Next Evolution Wrestling. I had the honor of having Jack as my manager. He handed out the hotel cards to like all these girls in the audience, and it was on Valentine's Day, mind you. And I said, what I just gave to you ladies, Jack, what was his name? It was Jizak 8-Track. That was his name when he was my manager. And I was just like, what Jizak just gave to all you fine ladies in the audience tonight is the hotel room key to the room that I'm staying in. So after I'm done beating this bum here in the ring tonight, all of you ladies can come back to the hotel room with Benjamin Banks, and y'all can all get on top of Space Mountain.
Oh
my God. Yes. Yes.
I was gonna say it's probably safe to assume we're never gonna see, a face turn from you anytime here soon.
Well, actually at VCW, I just turned face. Like the thing with wrestling, it's just like a TV show, Say for example, like one of your favorite actors, like he could be on 2 TV shows at the same time. And it's like on one TV show, he's a good guy, you care about him. But then on another TV show, he's a bad guy. He's an asshole. You hate him. You hate how he does, the things to different people and everything. And like, that's what wrestling is like for real. So it's like, a majority of the promotions that I wrestle at, I'm a heel, but, at VCW, which is like my home promotion, I recently just became a face there. I just won the Liberty Lottery there this past weekend, which was a feel good moment to me. It definitely does feel good, having everybody in the audience cheer for you compared to always getting booed all the time. It's definitely different because, like I said, like majority of my career, I've been a heel. I've been the bad guy, so it's a good feeling, just being cheered for.
Yeah, I imagine that does feel a little better, but then again, like you said, being mean to everybody's got to be so much fun.
Yeah, of course.
But it's also a new experience, especially if you've never really had a run as a face. It's a way to experience a different side of your character.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I will say, being a face, it's totally different. It's funny because it's like, the people that you was always talking crap to, are the ones that they support you when you finally become a face, and it's like, I apologize. Like anybody that I've ever said anything to or hurt their feelings, like I've apologized to them, now that I'm a face, because it's like, there's some people's feelings that like, that I hurt, especially little kids. Like when I was still a heel at VCW, there was this one show when we were at Hampton High School, and it was me and my former manager Jerry Stephanesis against George Pantis and Livid the Clown. And when I came out to the ring, there was a bunch of little kids, right on the front row, and like they all came up to me. They were trying to dap me up, and I talked so much trash to those little kids, man. And I told all of them to shut up, go sit down, because I don't want to touch any of your hands. And I want to say it was about like 5 kids. They all went and sat down, and like 2 of them were crying.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. And now that I'm a face at the Liberty Lottery during intermission, this guy he had brought his son up to me, and he was just like, "Hey man, we were at the show in Hampton, and this is my son right here, and I was just telling him that that you're a good guy now, and that you're not as bad as you used to be." And I had squatted down to his son. I was just like, "Hey man, I just want to let you know I'm sorry for what I said to you. I didn't mean to make you cry. And I think that you're the coolest kid in the whole wide world." And you know what that kid did to me? He smiled and gave me a high five.
Yeah.
So feel good moments like that, make up for, when I made them cry. So
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry, kid.
You're a big scary dude, so.
On the plus side, getting two children to cry just shows that you have some of the intangibles, of what's needed to be a bad guy in wrestling.
It's fun. It's fun, but it's fun doing it. It's one of those things where it's like, man, like I just ruined that kid's day. And it's like don't you know how like in the cartoons where it's like, they got the angel and the devil.
Yeah.
And it's like the angels on your shoulder like, look, are you proud of yourself?
Right, like look what you did.
The devil's just like, good job, man. Good job. Oh man, that's pretty much how I feel.
Yeah, and I think I figured out what I meant to say. You make it believable is kind of the way I was going for it. The kids believed you that you were really going to be
Right. You're obviously not a mean guy.
Yeah, we just had a rap session.
Yeah, I mean,
that is the first official rap battle. Well, I wouldn't call it a rap battle. We can't call it a rap battle.
I lost no matter what.
First,
yeah, it's like we did karaoke. It was like a karaoke.
I do love karaoke.
He does love karaoke. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors, so check it out.
Hey, everybody out there, listeners of the Gimmick Table. We got a great offer for you from Gamefly. Right now, you get a premium 30-day trial for free. Bow chicka bow wow. So you can check them out and see what it's all about. It's pretty great. They send you a video game. You play it. When you're done with it, you send it back. There's no late charges. I mean, sometimes you run a game and you get into it and you play it for like 5-6 days and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I spent so much money renting that game. You don't have to worry about that because send it right back with Gamefly and they'll send you a new game to play.
And if you love the game so much, you can buy it for a low price.
You have that game now.
All you got to do is go to www.gameflyoffer.com/TGT, or you can go right over to our website, gimmicktablepod.com, and sign up there as well. Back to the show. All right, guys, and we are back. So one thing I noticed, you've wrestled for a lot of different promotions.
Yes, sir.
So tell us kind of how that has impacted your career.
It's impacted my career greatly. One of the things about, wrestling for so many promotions is you wrestle in front of so many different people. When I first started in the business, somebody that I really looked up to, he's a guy that helped me out along the way. Well, actually, it's three guys, and that's Phil Brown, the Platinum Icon, Phil Brown, and Sean and Mark Denny, the Geordie Bulldogs. Those three guys helped me out so much, and like they told me, the only way for you to get better as a professional wrestler is by traveling to different places, wrestling in front of different crowds, and wrestling with different opponents. Because one of the things about, like if you just wrestle at one place and you stay complacent, the fan, like what's the word, well, it's like, oh, you're comfortable. You're really comfortable at the place that you wrestle at because it's like, the people, they know you. You know what to do in front of the people. So it's like, it's really easy. But you really know how good you are when you go to a promotion that you never wrestled at before. It's new people that's out in the audience. And if you can take that same energy that you have at, one promotion that you're really good at, and you can do it at the next promotion, then you're cooking with something. You're cooking with gas. Just wrestling at so many different promotions and then wrestling new people. It's like you learn and, you keep getting better and better and better and better. So like, that's one thing that, I can say, has helped me progress and grow in the wrestling business is just by, traveling. You want to get out there and travel. You don't want to stay complacent.
Oh, definitely. It seems like it develops more for an opportunity of growth in your career and prevents you from becoming stagnant, and not moving upward.
Exactly.
All right. So 5 years have gone by. You've seen some success. What's that been like to actually be successful at this, going from fan to wrestler?
It's been pretty good, man. Just going, like looking back at my career when I first started to like, where I'm at right now, like I'm so blessed at, the opportunities that I've been given in my wrestling career. from working with so many great and talented guys to, meeting so many legends in the business. It's a really awesome feeling, like starting off in the business, I thought that I was gonna win championships immediately and stuff like that. But it's like, you really have to pay your dues. You really have to, hone your craft, get better in the ring. You have to, be marketable. The promoter has to see something in you that's going to make people want to come and, either support you or boo you, in order for them to, push you in the company. So for the places that I've been at and, the pushes that I've been given, like, I'm grateful for, like I said, the opportunities that I've been given.
Yeah, everybody's got to climb the ladder. You're doing it. I was thinking, like, have you ever been, like, starstruck at all? Like, anybody you've met so far that you've been like, oh, man, I can't believe I'm in the same room as this guy?
Yeah, I'm glad that you asked me that. I want to say it was 2016. I was going through some stuff in my personal life that pretty much, I mean, I don't mind talking about it here, but, it was like I had got laid off from my job. The girl that I had been dating, she ended up dumping me, and we were supposed to be having a kid together. She ended up losing the kid. So it was like I got hit, 3 times with, bad stuff at the time. I was just ready to, hang it up. Like, I didn't want to wrestle anymore because it's like I was sad. I was depressed. It was this promotion that I was going to be wrestling at. It was called AML. The Geordie Bulldogs, they're the reason why I even got to wrestle at that promotion because, they had put in a word for me and I had contacted the promoter and, I got on the show. And like at this show, like there was a bunch of like TNA and WWE guys, former WWE guys, and some WWE legends there. And one of those guys was Ron Simmons, Farouk. And it was like that the week before, like the show was on Sunday, and it was like that Monday. After Raw, I don't know. Like, do you guys have the WWE Network?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There's this show called I think it's called Legends, and it's like pretty much it's like JBL, like he's talking to important people that that were in WWE, WCW, stuff like that. And Ron Simmons was on one of the episodes, and he was saying some stuff on the episode that really it touched me. It hit close to home, like some of the stuff that he was saying. Like that Sunday at AML, he was there, and I had went up to him and I had talked with him and, I had asked him for some advice and everything like that. And like, man, he took like, the time that he had to just sit there and talk with me and, just offer some really good advice to me that, it really helped motivate me.
I was kind of put you back onto that mindset of wanting to go down this road. Well, like, because you were saying you were struggling with like in your personal life. So now you got this. It helped redirect your focus back onto wrestling.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
that's what I meant to say.
That's what I'm here for. This is why I asked the questions.
It's like I was just waiting for it.
Could not find those words.
No, you're right. Yeah, like it really helped redirect my focus. It was kind of like Rocky, like when it's like Rocky, like after he lost to Clubber Lang in Rocky 3, and it was like he just didn't have the eye of the tiger anymore. And then Apollo Creed, he was just like, you didn't have the eye, you lost the eye of the tiger, Rock. And it's like you're not hungry anymore. So it was like that talk with Ron Simmons is what really, it lit a fire back inside of me. And it's like I'm so happy that I had that talk with him and that I didn't give up, because it's like if I would have gave up, it's like I wouldn't have had the opportunities, that I have now in wrestling, if it wasn't for him. And, the cool thing about that too was a few months, sorry, I'm getting choked up. But a few months later, Ron, he had came to VCW. I was in this thing called the Let's Cup that they do at VCW. The main event was me versus Gino. and Ron Simmons got involved in that. So, I could say, how cool is that, that I got to do something with him. And we talked again too when he had got there, because it's like I kind of feel like, how say like you talk with somebody, right? And you don't see that person for a while. And it's like when you see that person again, it's just like, hey, how you been? Yada, 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 this and that. And like, that's how it was when, we had ran into each other at VCW. It was like, he came up to me. We was talking about everything. He asked me how I had been and everything. So, it was cool. It was cool that, I got to do that with him. And I had told him that night too, that, that he's the reason why I kept doing it and that I didn't give up. So it's like, I'm just happy that, God, he puts obstacles in your life, and it's always a test to just see, what you're gonna do with it.
I mean, yeah, that really all came kind of full circle there. Puts everything in perspective.
Yeah.
And that was actually one of the first matches I watched of yours. It was a really good match, and I loved how you really were, smack talking Ron Simmons right from the beginning when you walked out. And not a little happy with him because you had it won. It wasn't the cleanest victory I've ever seen, but nobody had to step in and say, "Hey, we need to restart this match."
Yeah, that's one of my favorite matches. That's like at VCW. That's one of my favorite matches is against Gino, and then having Ron Simmons involved.
I'm definitely glad that you got to have that talk with him, and it kind of put you back on your path. It led to us, getting to meet you and have this opportunity to see what you can do in the ring, which, by the way, let me just say, you are very fun, both to watch athletically as a wrestler and from what I saw at the time, a heel. So I'm definitely looking to see what you are as a face as well, even though it's kind of, going to let you know, it's a little hard for me to get behind a face.
Well, I'm gonna do my hardest to, be the best face that I can be. It's still going to be a little bit of hell in me. Like, I'm not going to be doing anything cheap, but, I'm still going to be Benjamin Banks.
A little bit of an anti-hero?
Yeah, it's like that Genuine song. He's still the same OG. It's the same thing.
You did touch on this earlier. Liberty Lottery, BWC Vanguard Wrestling Championship. What's going through your mind when you win that?
Like, that right there was a really feel-good moment. One of the things that I always tell people is to stay positive and keep pushing forward and just continue to work hard. If you go back and, like, when I came into Vanguard Championship Wrestling, I was a jobber. It's like I was like at the bottom of the totem pole, and I worked really hard. I was starting to put on better matches, and when it got to that point where it's like, okay, I'm winning the lottery, it was a feel-good moment. I was just like, man, like, all the hard work paid off. I always say keep your nose clean. I kept my nose clean, and, I worked hard. I stayed positive. I didn't complain about anything. I just went out there and I just did what, I was supposed to do. And one of the things that I love to do in professional wrestling is just entertain people. From my, rise, started from the bottom. Now I'm here at VCW. Like, it was a feel-good moment because, like, the whole time I was actually, when I first started in VCW, I was a face. I started there as Andre Jackson, and like I said, I was a jobber and everything. And then I eventually became Benjamin Banks there. I just kept on, doing what I needed to do, and winning the Liberty Lottery. It's pretty much like the highlight of my career because VCW's been around since 1996. The Liberty Lottery is like their Super Bowl. It's like one of the biggest events that they have there. So for me to win the lottery, it's a big step in my wrestling career.
And it just goes to show you that if you do things the right way, if you give 110% of yourself to what you're doing, you can achieve success. It's going to be hard. There's going to be times where you don't want to do it. But if you aren't going out there on the days that you don't want to do anything and still giving it your all when you're tired, when you're sick, it's not going to pay off.
Yeah, the only way to sharpen a knife is to put it to the grindstone.
Mm-hmm.
And this guarantees you a title shot, correct?
Yep. I can go after whatever title I want to in the company. I can go after the VCW heavyweight title, the Liberty title, the Commonwealth title, or the tag titles. And, right now I don't have a tag partner, so I'm going to be going after one of the three titles. Actually, at the show, I already said what title I was going after, and that's the VCW heavyweight title.
Well, now that you and, Bats have a rap duet going on, you might want to have him come in as your tag team partner, and
Yeah, I mean, if you don't need anyone with any actual skills at all.
Man, you can come and be my tag partner, man, and just Hulk up. I'll make that tag. We can be the new Mega Powers.
Yeah, just hopefully, like, if I get knocked out, it's close enough that you can tap yourself in.
I think we could be a good tag team. What would our tag team be? What would our tag team be called?
The Fresh Princes.
Oh Lord, the Fresh Princes.
Oh boy.
One of us could dress like Prince. One of us could dress like Will Smith.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say somebody can dress like Carlton and somebody can dress like Will.
All right, no, I can do the Carlton dance too.
That's the only dance he could do.
It's pretty much the only dance I can do.
Yeah, the Carlton dance isn't that hard to do. Can we come out to what's that song? It's not unusual. Yeah,
Tom Jones.
Anyone. Do. Isn't that Tom Jones?
I think that's Tom Jones. Yeah, because he has like a picture of Tom Jones.
He loves Tom Jones.
Come out to that.
All right. Well,
now you
let's
got
set this
Fresh
up.
Princes, next VCW Tag Team Champions. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, well, shoot, we'll put it through and we'll see what happens. I'll talk with George Panthers and see if we can do that. I'm pretty sure he will probably approve of it.
Okay.
And if you need a manager, that's what I'm here for.
So we can have a whole stable.
All right.
So are you gonna be Jeffrey?
I'll be Jeffrey.
Oh, that'd
Okay, all right, cool.
That'd be sweet. Or he could be Uncle Phil. We could call him the judge.
Oh man, yo, real talk, man. It's so funny, like how the Fresh Prince is like a lot of stuff in my my wrestling career revolves around the Fresh Prince because when I started in the business, I was in a tag team with this guy named Mr. Picture Perfect, and we had this thing called the Flash and Cash handshake, which was pretty much the handshake that Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff would do on the show. Smack the hands and then do the that was a Flash and Cash handshake.
All right, I could be DJ Jazzy Jeff.
We can get you like a weird flipped up baseball hat.
Yeah.
And some blacked out sunglasses.
In an article published by the Virginia Pilot, Blake Chadwick, who does commentary for VCW for the last 13 years, he watched you through a lot of your career, but he went on to state that you can kind of make a comparison like a Dusty Rhodes. He's flamboyant, he's athletic for a bigger guy. What's it like to be given that comparison?
It's pretty awesome. Every time when I hear somebody, compare me to Dusty Rhodes, it's like I always chuckle because it's like Dusty Rhodes is like an icon, and to be, put in the same category as him is really cool. And rest in peace, Dusty. It's like, I have a lot of memories of Dusty Rhodes, growing up and, just him doing his little dance and, the son of a plumber and, the hard times promo and, Dusty Rhodes, it's like he was big, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just talking about like big, like he was huge, like in the wrestling world, man. And It was sad when he passed away. It was last year when he had passed away. That affected a lot of people because he helped a lot of people, in the business. From, in WWE and, just by, the fans, who grew up watching him. For me to, be compared to him is a really huge honor.
Good for you, man. It shows that if somebody's comparing you 5 years into, having the intangibles of a Dusty Rhodes, it identifies that you are probably headed most likely for really big things.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who has been the most influential person in your life inside wrestling?
It would probably have to be The Rock. Growing up watching wrestling, when you're a kid, it's like you love it. And it's like, some people, they just grew up watching wrestling and, they just continue to keep watching it. And when I was a kid, it was like I watched wrestling, when Hulk Hogan was on top and everything. And as I got older, I just stopped watching wrestling because, I thought it was dumb. It was like one night my cousin had came over and The Rock was on TV and, he was just laying the smackdown on everybody and, just talking smack to everybody. I was just like, man, who's this guy? He made me, come back into wrestling because I started tuning in every week to see what The Rock was going to do next. and he's one of one of the major influences in my wrestling career, because it's like he's the reason why I wanted to become a professional wrestler. Just the Benjamin Banks when it comes to talking smack and making fun of people and everything. It's like I always think of The Rock. I always think of like The Rock when he used to make fun of the people in the crowd, when even when he turned face and he had the people behind him and everything like that. Like that's how I want to be in my wrestling career. I want to be like The Rock. I don't want to be like The Rock. The Rock has influenced me. There we go. I'll say that. The Rock has influenced Benjamin Banks, and that's why Benjamin Banks does the stuff that he does, is because of The Rock.
Out of some of the matches that you've performed in, what are some of your favorites?
Ah, man, I got a lot of them. I'll do the top 6 because these 6 matches were big parts in my career. My first match is obviously the one where we talked about with Gino at VCW.
Yes.
We were in the main event of the Lutz Cup. And that match right there, it was like, I had a match with somebody that was phenomenal in the ring, Gino, who is a wrestler at Booker T's Reality of Wrestling promotion. That match right there at VCW was like my breakout match, the make it or break it match. Chemistry that we had in that ring, man, it was so amazing. So, that's right there is one of my favorite matches. And I have a total of 6 matches. And it was like, all 6 of these matches are really important to me. So that was one of them. The second match was against a guy named Diamond Victor Griff. We had wrestled at a county fair, and at county fairs, they really don't have a lot of, it's not really a wrestling crowd, it's just people that's at the fair. Me and Griff, it was like we drew like all the people into us because of what we were doing in the ring. I was the bad guy, he was the good guy, and it was like everybody loved it. And I had mentioned like the people that helped me in my career, along the way. Diamond Victor Griff, he's helped me out so much in my wrestling career. I appreciate everything that he's done for me. And when I had won the Liberty Lottery, Griff, he was actually, waiting down at the steps in the back for me when I came to the back. And, he gave me a hug and just told me that he was so proud of me and, how far I've come in my wrestling career. Cause like he pretty much seen me from, when I started in my career to where I'm at right now. So, I really appreciated him, everything that he's done for me. And that match is, one of my favorite matches. My third match is against a guy named Hooker. I wrestled him at Southside Pro Wrestling as well. It was 2 big guys, we went balls to the wall in the match. And it was for a number 1 contendership match for the SPW television title. The match, the chemistry that we had in that match, man, like it was amazing. Like this dude, he had threw me into the wall and I ended up dislocating my shoulder, and we carried the match on. We kept it going, and it was, it was such a good match. I didn't know I was going to dislocate my shoulder by getting thrown into the wall. You know how, when you're in school and how the walls have like that padding up there.
Oh, for like the basketball players and stuff.
Yeah, well, I was just, he threw me into that, and I was just like, okay. This is gonna hurt, but it shouldn't hurt that bad. And I ended up getting thrown into the wall, and I ended up dislocating my shoulder. So, yeah, that shit hurted. But other than that, like the match was really good. And after the match, when we went to the back, we both got a standing ovation from everybody in the back. So that was a good feeling. Number 4 would have to be my match against Sterling Williams. Sterling, he's one of the guys who, trained me in the business. He trained me when I started in the business, And I had a match with him at Next Evolution Wrestling. And it was like, he saw like how far I had come in my wrestling career and how much better I had gotten. And the match that we had, it was so fun because, Sterling's a high flyer. So, he was hitting everything. And I kept on giving it to him. I kept tearing him down. So that was like a teacher-student match, and he just saw how far I had came, and he was just so proud of me. So, that's another one of my favorite matches. And I got the last two. This match was against Phil Brown. Phil, he is somebody who had saw me when I first started in the business. And, I always looked up to him because Phil had done so much in the wrestling business. Like, he's wrestled for WWE. He's wrestled, like the big names that, that come to the shows and everything. So, for me to have this match with Phil, it was one of those things where it was a feel-good moment because Phil got to see how much I have progressed in my wrestling career, and to have such a good match with him, like he just told me how proud he was of me, and just told me to keep on pushing and to just keep on getting better, and if I just do that, then I'm going to go places in this business. So I was just so happy that I got to have that match with him and just hear that stuff from him, because like I said, like Phil, he's like a legend in this area, so it was a good feeling to experience that with him. And the last match that I want to say is I had a match with another person that helped me out in the business, and that was Marky Denny. I had a return match at Southside Pro Wrestling, and it was against Mark. Man, we had the match of the night from me leaving SPW, because it was like they stopped using me, after I had graduated. So it was like I felt like I had something to prove. So I did a lot of traveling, wrestling at different promotions, and when I came back, I wrestled Marky. The crowd, like, they were so into our match. We got a "This is awesome" chant, it felt good because I was just like, man, it's like these people, man, it's like they're really into the match. And, it's always a feel-good moment when the crowd is chanting "This is awesome" for your match. So all the guys that I just named that I had matches with, it's like they were very important matches in my career, and I respect and I love all of the guys that I had matches with.
Well, that's good to hear. It's definitely good that you've had a lot of matches that you can kind of reflect on and have that value in them. But if there was one active wrestler out there today, any promotion in the world, who is that dream match for you?
That dream match, it would be against MVP. MVP, man, it's like he's the guy where it's like, well, wrestling, it was kind of, I want to say, like, growing up, wrestling was kind of getting stale, and then MVP had came to the scene, and I was just like, man, like, who's this guy? Like, it was like I just liked everything about him, like the way how he carried himself, how great of a heel he was on TV. When I started my wrestling career, like that's one of my goals that I set, was it's like I want to have a match with MVP. I actually had a chance to meet him when I first started my wrestling career too. I had went to a Pro Wrestling Syndicate show, and he was there, and like, I had just told him like how much of an influence, that he had on me in my wrestling career. And how much, because of him, like, he's another reason why, I really wanted to do this. Like with The Rock, like The Rock being like the number one influence, but like MVP, just because of everything that he did and like how he like rejuvenated me into, getting back into wrestling again at a point where it was kind of, it was kind of, stale, and it wasn't as fun as it had been, a few years ago. That's somebody who I would love to have a match with.
I'd like to see that match. And one more thing, any advice for anybody looking to get into professional wrestling?
Stay humble and keep your nose clean. Stay out of politics. It's like if you have any problems with anybody, handle the problems with that person. Don't go on social media. Handle it like an adult. Don't give up because you feel a certain type of way, like you feel like you're not going anywhere. Just keep on, doing your best, working hard, and staying out of trouble. Staying out of trouble, man. And it's like people will notice you. It's like, things will eventually start to get better. And when, those things do get better, just take that ball and run with it.
Definitely. And that seems to be, again, a lot of people we're hearing a lot when it comes to those couple of those questions we ask, advice, why you got in the business, same things, was a fan at one point, and you got to remain humble. You got to remember it's going to be a long road. Some people it's going to come for quicker. Other people it's going to take longer. You can't worry about the people that it comes easier for. You just got to continue to worry about yourself. Go to the gym every day and constantly learn. That's at least what I've taken away from, talking to everybody.
Yeah. And that's so true. Like, you just don't want to get caught up in the drama and the politics and, he said, she said. It's like the only thing that you want to focus on doing is just going out to the ring and having the best match that you can have with your opponent and entertaining everybody that purchased a ticket to come out there and have a fun and an awesome event. That's what it's all about. If you could do that, man, get the people to hate you, get the people to cheer for you, and that's all that really matters.
Definitely, man. And speaking of events, when is the next time that we can see you in the ring?
I have a show. I have an event at Vanguard Championship Wrestling. That's going to be September 9th. And then I'm supposed to be at Pure Pro Wrestling on the 19th. And I believe it's the 23rd. I believe. I had to double check. But, I mean, I post all of that stuff on all my social media pages. So if people want to come to the events and see me do what I do, they can come and see it.
Well, we will definitely have you linked on all of the tweets. So just click on his name and go to his page and get all of that information so you can see this guy wrestle.
Thank you.
But yeah, anything we can do to help you, man. We love what you guys do. It's something that we appreciate. It's something that we as fans enjoy a lot. And I think at some point, you can be a fan, you can sit there on the internet, you can give your opinion, or you can try to do something positive and give back to something that you love. And hopefully, we can help expand your reach and get you a couple more fans. You're welcome. All right.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you guys, reaching out to me and, asking me to be on the show. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Anybody, we enjoy doing this. It's fun for us. It's something new. It's interesting. But now we're gonna do our favorite part of the show. Is we're gonna unhinge the gimmick table.
Okay.
You are a video game fan. Andrew is a
Yes.
video game fan.
I like myself some video games.
All right. So we're gonna take some heels in professional wrestling, and you tell us what end boss for what game they would be.
All right.
I kind of thought this was the direction it was going. I see you didn't put any notes on here about what you were gonna do, so I got to come up with these off the top of my head too.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna start off with The Miz.
The Miz.
I was gonna say the guy from Resident Evil. I don't know his name, but he always wears that weird leather trench coat.
Wesker.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that he could probably be like a boss in Grand Theft Auto,
Like,
where you gotta kill him.
or like someone from the Matrix.
Yeah, that's true too. I can see the Miz being the boss of the Matrix.
Yeah, right. Like he's like Neo's the evil Neo.
Yeah, I could see that as well. I really liked him being Wesker in Resident Evil. I think that's really good.
Yeah. I pictured him when he came out in that trench coat the first time I saw it. I was like, he looks like somebody I've fought before in a video game.
Yeah, or I mean, well, he does those Marine movies, man. I mean, he could easily be a boss in a Call of Duty game.
Oh yeah.
All right. So next would be the king of the cruiserweights, Neville.
I could see Neville being like a boss in like a Fable game, like in one of the Fable games.
Oh yeah, definitely like some type of wizard or knight at the end. Of
Yeah, I could definitely see Neville doing that.
I don't know. Based on purely looks, I think he's the boss of Crash Bandicoot.
Oh wow! Are you talking about the doctor?
Yeah.
Who?
Oh man!
How do you get that?
Yeah, like how do you get that?
I don't know. It's just the way he looks.
He's
man.
got long hair.
Yeah, I guess that. But his face.
Okay.
They
Yeah,
have the same face.
He does have a weird face.
I guess if he was like green, you would see it better.
So we'll Photoshop Neville green, and then we'll send you the picture, and maybe you and I will know what he's talking about.
Yeah, and doesn't he have like an N on his head or something like that? I can't remember.
If he has an N on his head, that's
he's got
creepy.
like a pretty big forehead area.
I'm trying to think what else I could probably see Neville as a ball. I mean, like honestly, like I could see Neville being, like I said, Fable, probably like Dragon Age. What's that other game? Like Skyrim. Like I could see him.
Oh, he could be in Skyrim.
being a boss in one of those games. It's the accent, man.
I see.
It's
Yeah,
the
I think
accent.
we all go to Skyrim medieval times as soon as he starts talking. What about Bobby Roode, the glorious one?
I can see Bobby Roode being like a boss in like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
I can see that, fighting Snake. I'm trying to think if there's any. Yeah, that's the only thing I can picture right now. Like Metal Gear Solid.
All right. So in our last one here, who would you be the boss? What game, would you be the boss for?
would like to be the boss in a Dragon Ball Z game. So that way, like when Goku kills me with a Kamehameha, like you guys watch Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah.
I
used to watch it more in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like whenever like a villain got defeated, it's like they always like said something before they died. Like it's like, how could this be? or Vegeta. Like it was always some like some small one line thing that they would say before they would die. So yeah, that's what I would like to do. I just probably be like, how can this be? Or just scream really loud. Because sometimes in public, I think I'm a Super Saiyan. So yeah, I think I would do that.
Oh boy. Well, this has been fun today. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gimmick Table. And again, anything that you need pushed, we will be your pushers. That was really bad phrasing on my part. But hey,
what y'all pushing, man?
We're pushing you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Is it cool if I leave my my tags for my social media accounts?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Do it up.
Okay, so on Twitter, you can follow me at Benji_Banks. On Facebook, you can follow me at facebook.com BenjaminB23. And then on Instagram, you can follow me at XDMoney23X.
All right, we'll get
And if you want, hold on, I got one more. And if you want to play games with me on Xbox Live, my Xbox Live gamer tag is capital X space capital D space money space 23 space capital X. There you go. And we can play some Left 4 Dead.
I got a PlayStation.
Yeah, we're PlayStation 4 people.
Wow.
But I used to play Left 4 Dead so
we
hard.
did. All right, Benjamin Banks, you are the 5th guest on the Gimmick Table. And again, we are so happy that you joined us here today. And we hope to have you on the show in the future. Let us know you got something big going on. We'll have you on so you can plug it.
All right, cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me up here.
Man.
Thank you.
I had a really good time. So,
we did as well.
This is great.
This one went off cuff a lot, but that's what we like.
Totally worth driving back from the beach.
That's what we kind of like. We don't want to be your typical wrestling podcast.
I can't wait to hear myself and you rap Fresh Prince.
It's gonna be funny with the delay.
I can't wait to hear it either.
Yeah, we got to keep that in. Because I already tweeted it out.
Yeah, we tried. I mean, we messed up a couple of lines, but that's cool.
Yeah, but see, where you fell off, I picked up, and where I fell off, you picked up. It was perfect harmony.
Yeah. As long as we weren't doing the pilot episode one, we're fine.
Yeah, we need advance notice. Have to look up the lyrics. So.
Practice a little bit.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Have a good one, man.
Anytime, man. Have a good night.
All right. Yeah. Y'all do the same. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. All right, guys, that was another episode of the Gimmick Table.
That was fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. Sorry if it got a little uncuffed and a little off topic, but that's what we're all about, kind of, showing you who these guys are as people. And they're just like you, me, and Bats, which they're like me and Bats. That's kind of scary. But thank you again for listening. All right, guys, there's a lot of places that you can reach us. We are on Facebook. Just search the Gimmick Table. We're also on Twitter at @gimmick_table. You can also go to our website, gimmicktablepod.com, and there you can sign up for all our cool launch contests still going on. And you can also take advantage of some of our awesome deals from our sponsors. Have a good night, folks, and thank you for listening.
See ya.